Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this new video. This time I'm going to continue with a series I created a while back called AI for the Average Humans. And the reason for that is because I believe that everybody should have an understanding of what AI is, how it functions. Even if you're not technically inclined, we're all going to be affected in one way or another by AI. So if you want to learn more about it, this is one of the many future videos I'm uploading to the web. And let me start by going over the basic concept of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, because these are terms that sometimes are used interchangeably, which is not correct, and also are terms that you hear on the news and on many publications all the time. And you may be wondering yourself, what is that? But have you ever wondered what the difference is between AI, machine learning, and deep learning? And of course, people throw around these terms like they are the same things, but in reality, they are not. I'm going to break out in simple terms and definitions what each of these terms is going to do for AI. Let me start by talking about the big picture. The big picture is artificial intelligence, as you see here. And we can say that AI is the umbrella that is going to cover all the other technologies, right? So we have AI, as you can see, and within AI, we're going to have machine learning, and within machine learning, we're going to have deep learning. All of this is going to work together to create what we know as artificial intelligence, but each of these is a different type of studies, is a different type of uh, solutions in and on of themselves. And when they work together, when they are like working in harmony, obviously they're going to create or they're going to make artificial intelligence work. So just keep of that in terms of artificial intelligence is the umbrella term, and within artificial intelligence, we have machine learning and we also have deep learning. So let's talk about machine learning for a bit. As I mentioned before machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. It's part of it, right? And let me bring over the next slide. So when we're talking about machine learning, is it's pretty much like training a dog, right? Let's use that analogy, in which you give treats when it sits, when it obeys your commands, and eventually it learns to do what you ask the dog to do. Similarly, we feed algorithms data so they learned about patterns. So when it comes to machine learning, this is something that you're going to see in different technologies that required that you apply a lot of algorithms to the data. For instance, when it comes to Netflix recommendations, those recommendations that once you have finished watching a show or a movie, it's going to recommend shows that you may like, that is based on algorithms that have been fed to your viewing patterns, and it believes that based on the algorithms and whatever algorithm they create, it's going to generate possible suggestions for you. And it's up to you. If you remember, when you go through those options, you have the option of giving the thumbs up or thumbs down. In that case, you are training the algorithm to create suggestions that are customizable to you. So that is one of the ways that we can maybe think about machine learning is, when we apply the algorithms to the data. Now, we also have the other concept that I mentioned before, which is deep learning. And deep learning is a subset of machine learning. As I was describing before, I remember machine learning is part of all what we know as artificial intelligence. And deep learning, again, is a subset of machine learning, and it's the reason tools like ChatGPT, self-driving cars, or facial recognitions, how they work so well because they relied on deep learning. Let's um, let's expand a little bit. I don't know if I explained myself correctly. Deep learning uses artificial neural networks, right? Which are layers upon layers of neural networks that mimic how human brain processes information. And this is what I tried to represent here with neural networks. And you have layers upon layers of human networks that are going to try to replicate how we humans think by reasoning, by comprehension, and by adding countless or numbers of data sets to it. Think of machine learning like training a dog, right? What we described before, but deep learning goes a step further because it is going to try to mimic. It's not just training a model based on a response, but it's trying to train the model to think like we do, even though I'm using the word thinking loosely because it's not really thinking, at least not now. Probably in a couple of years it will, who knows? But it is trying to have a comprehension similar to what a human would have. And that's what you would do with a child, for instance. When you have a child, you are training the child of this world around him, right? You know, what is this? What it does? Don't do this. Don't do that. This is going to harm you. And it's going to come a point that that child is going to have enough information that it's going to be able to be self sufficient. Obviously, I'm oversimplifying that concept. There is a psychological aspect to it that I'm leaving outside, but just in terms of training the child to understand more things, the more you train it, the child is going to be able to develop its own comprehension, its own understanding, and make its own decisions. And that's what we're aiming with artificial intelligence. At one point, we believe that artificial intelligence is going to be able to create some type of intelligence of itself. And what's going to happen at that point, I don't know, maybe Terminator is going to happen, you know, one of those things that is scaring a lot of people. But anyway, so the neural networks are going to be similar or are trying to mimic what the human brain is. Now, I am not a neuroscientist or anything like that, but I do know that the human brain is very powerful and is very profound. And, you know, even as of now, we don't know it all. We don't have it all mapped out. We have a lot of understanding of how the brain works, and we're trying to mimic that with the neural networks. Now, the more we know about the brain, the better the neural networks are going to get. And maybe at one point, who knows when, maybe some people say that in by 2030, other people say by 2050. Who knows when that's going to happen? We're going to be able to develop an advanced neural network technology that is going to be able to create some type of self-sustaining intelligence. And then who knows what's going to happen next. Now, remember, just to wrap it up, AI is the broad goal, the umbrella, right, that we're talking about when it comes to making machines smart. And to achieve that AI goal that we have to go through the process of machine learning, which is the way to achieve AI by learning from data. That's why all these um, AI companies at the beginning they took them to court because they were accessing all kind of data, even data that was copyrighted. And then within machine learning, we have deep learning, which is a more powerful technique that uses neural networks to process massive amounts of data. Now, if this few minutes description helped you clear things up, why don't you drop a comment? You know, leave a comments in the comment sections. And if you're more interested in this topic, and again, this is not a class for data scientists or machine learning scientists or anything like that. This is just information for the average person who wants to know more about what's happening around. And maybe you're technically inclined and you want to learn more about AI, machine learning, deep learning, and all of that. So I really appreciate for watching this video. If you found this information useful, all I ask you to do is to click on the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and let me know that you are more interested in this type of topics, and I'll create more content for that in the future. And thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next video.